I'm Jimmy, and I'm filling in for Legence Canada's intro today. He wants me to tell you that he's going to show you his top 5 perennials in his garden. Keep in mind his garden is in hardiness zone 3 and or 4. So if you're starting out a garden for the first time, want to know things that are going to be coming back real soon, next year, and the year after, stick around. We're going to have Candy Tuft, Periwinkle, Sweet Woodruff, Solomon's Seal, and Mayapple.
Thank you, Jimmy. I really appreciate your help with my intro today. So the first year I planted my garden, I wanted a moonlight garden, so I wanted everything to be white. Most of the things didn't end up working out, but this Candy Tuft plant prevailed. To be completely honest, I kind of canned the idea of having a moonlight garden, but when these flowered in the spring and they were that vivid white, I decided that I would keep them. So Periwinkle. So Periwinkle is a spreading vine. So the way that it works, it's kind of like a strawberry. Once the plant kind of grows away from the main body of the plant, when it touches the ground, it starts to root there. So once those roots are established, you can actually cut it from the mother plant, and you have a duplicate, you have a clone of that plant, so you can then dig that up and share it with your family and friends. So there's these beautiful purple flowers that appear in the spring, and my plant actually took 3 whole summers before it started flowering. Another cute little story is I actually bought this when I was living in my apartment before I bought my house, and I brought it with me, threw it in the ground, and it was actually the first plant that I planted at my house. Sweet, sweet Woodruff. This plant has so many awesome properties. So the flower and the leaves are actually used in teas in the spring when their properties are super intense. They spread by creeping roots, and they also spread by seeds. So that's a double wham jam right there. It makes it very, very aggressive as a plant, but it is perfect for planting under a tree where there's a lot of shade and it doesn't get much sun. This plant doesn't mind that. It's perfect. Those creeping roots are perfect because you can just slice whatever shape you want into the root, and you can transplant it somewhere else. You guys, I love Solomon's Seal. So Solomon's Seal is a close relative of Lily of the Valley. And doesn't it kind of make sense because they both have those upside down white flowers that smell absolutely fantastic in the spring? So luckily, these were already here when I moved in. Solomon's Seal propagates by rhizomes and can also propagate by seed. The rhizomes can be cooked and eaten just like that because they're starchy like a potato. The rhizomes are used in tea, and they can also be ground into a flour. Solomon's Seal is beautiful in the wind. It's super aerodynamic. I love how the flowers kind of hang like little church bells underneath the plant. In the sun, there's this beautiful gold sheen. And in this clip, I'm showing you how it propagated by seed, because now there's little Solomon's Seals underneath my spruce tree, 2 meters away. And finally, my number 1 favorite plant in my garden right now, the Mayapple. So I was walking Cooper one day, and a lady gave me a little tour of her garden because she was super proud of it, and I thought it was super cute. I pointed to these things that were poking in the shade, and I said, "Hey, those are kind of cool." She's like, "You want some?" I was like, "Okay." So she gave me a couple. These are its second year. Mayapple's roots have been used in the treatment of several ailments. Anything from warts, jaundice, fever, to syphilis. The little berries that it produces in the summer, once ripe, can also be made into jellies. Just a quick little disclaimer, guys. I can't be responsible for any ingestion of these plants that you guys might do because of the properties I just talked about.
Hey Thrifties, gotta stay true to my thrift hauling nature, so I'm gonna show you guys a couple of old things. I have an antique hall table from the early 1900s that came out of a house in London, Ontario, and I have these two antique rocking chairs, one of which I believe to be made by hand, and the other just really old and ornate.
I'm prepping this set because I'm selling it on Marketplace. And this table was our dining room table in our apartment before we bought the house. This guy used to import antiques from all over the province, and I miss his store so much. He told me that it came out of a big house in London, Ontario. This was a beautiful gift from a friend. I've had this chair for probably over 10 years now. Beautiful detail. It almost looks American in shape. I couldn't quite tell if this was just a really thick fabric or if it was indeed a leather. It seemed to be many pieces of either leather or fabric piled onto one another. This is like a dotted board that makes the back of this chair. Beautiful detail in every part of this rocking chair. This is the little chair that I believe to be handcrafted. The number one reason is just the absence of nails. Everything is joined. So, I highly doubt that this was made in a factory somewhere. It's very raw, all the materials are raw, and a lot of the cuts that are made into the wood seem very, very raw also. I love the different layers of paint that have been applied to this thing over the caning on this chair is just stunning. It's like a basket weave almost. I can't tell if it's original or not. Would you be able to? I don't know. How do you tell that? Thanks so much for watching my video, guys. Have a good day.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy's YouTube channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Jimmy's World. Top 5 garden favorites.